Okay, for more on this, we are now being joined by Edward P. Joseph, Senior Fellow at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies and Foreign Policy Analyst. Edward is joining us live from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, Edward, and great to talk to you again. You know, since the war has begun, top American officials, including U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and others, have been visiting Israel and the wider Middle East regions. But it seems that the war is now spilling over on the one hand, and the hostages remain in Hamas captivity.
Susan, first, good to be with you, and Happy New Year to you and to your viewers. Well, the U.S. Interest is certainly to prevent any spreading of the conflict. And so far, actually, quite remarkably and significantly, we have not seen that spillover. We should put it in perspective here that we should have anticipated a spillover. The logical consequence, one would think, of a very well-armed operative like Hezbollah, which has quite strong, capable missiles capable of striking Israel basically anywhere, one would have expected while Israel is deployed with most of its military deployed and its military leadership focused on in Gaza, that would be the ideal time for Hezbollah to strike, and it hasn't. And of course, that puts Iran, the backer of Hezbollah, which is a proxy of Iran, in an embarrassing position, because Iran styles itself as the leader of the so-called resistance, axis of resistance, and its main proxy is not doing very much about it. So the U.S. has moved quickly. The U.S. moved first one, then a second carrier group into the region as a strong signal, a strong deterrent to prevent some type of escalation. And we've seen military exchanges on the border, quite dangerously so. Many Israelis have moved away from the north of the border in Israel. And we've seen, of course, Israel strike and take out this Hamas commander in Lebanon. And we've also seen Israel take out, just a few days ago, this the Iranian commander in Syria. So we've seen those two exchanges, and now, of course, we have this escalation potential. We have this baseless allegation from Iran and from others that Israel is somehow responsible for this terrible attack in Kerman in Iran that has killed so many Iranian civilians. Please.
Yeah, Iranians were saying that not many of Qasem Soleimani's family members or top commanders or officials were at that ceremony. So that was curious, according to the social media outlets. Moving on, Saleh Arouni, a deputy political leader of Hamas, was killed in a drone strike in southern Beirut on Tuesday. Let's talk about intelligence sharing. The United States says that Israel informed it of the Beirut strike as it happened, and there was no preemptive warning given. What does this tell us about the relationship and intel sharing at the highest level between the two countries?
Well, we don't. It's difficult to have insight into that question of how much advance notice is provided, but we certainly don't see any significant reproach by the United States for the action of taking out Arouni in Lebanon, this senior Hamas commander. We see no reproach from the United States about that, and why should there be? The question of intelligence sharing or advance notice, I don't believe rises to that kind of level. I think that the more serious question now is Iran's position on these tragic explosions in Iran itself that have killed scores of innocent Iranian civilians. And here in the United States, as your report indicated, the State Department official indicated, we've seen these irresponsible suggestions here in the United States that have basically concluded that Israel is responsible. This is stunning. I'm not talking about from Iran. I'm talking about Iran, those who follow Iran closely here in the United States, and even those who suggest that the civilians, these same so-called Iran experts, suggesting that those innocent Iranian lives were somehow IRGC, that is Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps assets, innocent Iranian lives somehow treated as assets. And of course, as the State Department indicated, there are no indications that Israel did this or would have done this because it's simply not the pattern that Israel does to attack civilians. We saw openly former Israeli Prime Minister Bennett in the Wall Street Journal just a couple days ago openly acknowledged Israel's attacks in Iran itself, but that these were focused on truly what were military assets, taking out a drone base, for example, in Iran. So this is the more interesting and dangerous context here. Please.
Yes, very. Edward, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for that analysis and insight, and a very happy new year to you as well. I look forward to speaking to you again.
Likewise. Thank you very much.